So starting off this game, we're going to be treated to an absolute delight, which is that Kavem is going to take the dualies and he's going to walk them into hut with no support on pistol round versus Glocks. And now pistol round is basically over. For some reason, the pistol round strat is completely designed around Kavem winning his fight and then having no one there to trade for Heroic. But the rest of the pieces are so disconnected that this retake's basically impossible, so they give Heroic the lead early. Now, this would be a huge problem for Passion UA, but Heroic are actually going to hand over the anti-ego by walking into the ram stack on accident. And now you're going to have Heroic on all tech 9s and barely any nades. You can see 4 smokes and an HE. Now what's confusing is that in this round, Heroic's going to throw the little bit of utility they've bought outside as a fake to set up for a ramp push. But here's the thing about this fake, right? JT knows it's a fake because he's clearing outside. And even though Kavem should know that since it's an eco, it's going to be everyone he's fighting when he makes contact, he still gets caught out on the ramp trying to hold his ground. Once this contact happens, look at what happens here on the A site. You have Try, who's defending for an A site hit that's obviously not happening. You have Nyx over here with cement in his feet, not making a good rotate. And then you have Senzu, who admittedly does have the right idea because there is someone here. Although the guy there isn't even going to peek him, which doesn't make a lot of sense either. But you just have a bunch of people where you have to wonder, what are these guys doing?
Oh, Passion, you just get control, you win with 5-7s, and then you lose out to tech 9s and a couple of nades.
Now, Passion win the round after that on a B retake, so I'm going to skip ahead. So to start off this round, we have 4 smokes, a flash, and an HE. So Heroic are on a bad buy because they lost the last round in a post plant. Now, Passion UA are looking to build a lead here by punishing the T's for not having a good enough economy to throw a bunch of util to do a proper outside take. And he's going to go for one of the most harebrained peaks I've ever seen.
Interesting position for JT, and around that's relatively important.
You're going to have this rotation where Nyx is still here on the A site, which makes sense. You're going to have a stack here on ramp, which I guess I can kind of see if they do have a split or a lurk, and you're going to have Senzu watching outside to be a part of the A hold. But because you don't have anyone down on B already, jump spotting the doorway or playing decon stairs, you are in a position where there is no way you are going to be able to retake because you have no one in any good cover toward the B site. So as they start scaling the B site, they're just going to be doing things like that. And now in this round, we're on a half buy because we have rifles that we saved from before, but we also have a USPS in play and an MP9. And so instead of trying to get the rifles involved, we're just going to push an MP9 with no support, no one to trade frag, into hut to take this fight against an AK, and then we're going to lose it. We're just going to hand over the first pick like it ain't no thing.
Don't you just love it when there's like 3 M4s in play, a 5.7 and an MP9, and then an MP9 makes an early play and dies?
And the problem is, it's a repeat of that terrible Kavem push from pistol round, and also the strat here is clearly to defend outside with 2 people and allow them to come in her because you're playing the extremities really hard. So this solo walk push, especially when you have JT on a 5.7 who could easily be there trading, just makes no fucking sense. And Passion UA go on to lose this round. Now, this isn't a crazy terrible mistake, but Kavem's going to get caught out here trying to play the outside, even though he has shadow advantage, and he's going to lose this fight to Xfloud, but it's not so bad. He leaves Xfloud on 2 HP, but the biggest problem with this round is that, again, because we are unwilling to rotate anyone toward the B site, we have to have all of our players either playing ramp or defending A. There is nothing to stop this slow-ass walk-up onto the B site. We did not move any rifles, even though we had Nyx and Mini, who could have easily dropped and beat them to the staircase by silent dropping down the ladder. There is absolutely nothing to be done about this. So we hand over the B site, Execute comes in, they start clearing the site, and there is literally no avenue into a retake. So there's nothing that can be done, and the round is just handed over. And it's one of those situations where, although it's always nice to play responsibly, you're not even giving your chance to win a 4v5. Now finally, the next round they say enough is enough. We're going to rotate Try down with the op, so he's down here in secret already. Senzu is going to see these smokes come in. He is going to call the smokes coming in. They are going to sprint behind the smokes, and then Try is just going to pull his knife out and die to Xfloud.
Silent drop. Why?
Even if your teammate makes a call, oh, he can't be down, where the hell are you going?
But again, because our Lord and Savior Nyx had some quick thinking and rotated to bolster up the B-site defense, he's able to figure out that this is a fake. So even though Try offers himself up on a silver platter, Nyx is going to be able to call that it's a fake soon enough for Passion Yue to still win this round. Now here's a round that doesn't make any sense, and I'm begging someone to tell me how this works. So they send Kavem out to get info, and he loses the fight. That's totally fine. I get that play. It's an info play. Whatever. There's a trade outside. JT sees that there's no one else here because the smoke doesn't cover all of outside. You're going to see that right now they got into ramp fast enough to make sure that no one's down ramp. JT knows that no one crossed because the smoke is not complete outside. It is not blocked out, which means there is no one down on the B site. So Nyx is just going to go down to the B site anyways, and then he's going to go, wait a minute, I'm the A site player. So then he's going to come up. But guess what? They are on the A site. They are on the A site because there's no one B. So where would they be? And now the round is just unwinnable because they saw Nyx. They saw that he was coming back up. They have a pretty good idea that it's him. Now I'm just going to cut to the middle of pistol round where Nyx goes to take a fight that he doesn't win on either side in either half. It looks pretty bad because it's a 2v4, but Senzu's just going to take the bomb and drop lower while Try sits in the lobby. And instead of just running and helping Sus trade this, Xflood is going to run all the way around the map to despawn for some reason. And he's just going to allow Senzu to sit down here and fight by himself because they're not going to peek together. Senzu, of course, is going to fight Sus. And then Try is going to walk in Xflood because he's stomping all the way around to T-spawn for some reason to fight Try. Now, here's another moment of absolute brilliance where the smoke comes in and it ruins Passion Yue's hit, but Passion Yue are just going to execute into it because they want to disrespect the smoke. So Nyx goes and throws the flash that's not going to hit anything near him, and he's just going to absolutely offer himself up to Xflood. But then the trade comes in. Now, Senzu gets shot at and just dips out, so there's no one to help Kavem. So Kavem gets hung out to dry, and just to reiterate how fundamentally bad this is, although he knows he's supposed to be trading, Senzu just for some reason pulls out an HE grenade, as if he's not supposed to be scaling and taking fights. Then he's going to almost blow himself up and leave himself stranded on an island for no reason in CT. Now, in this round, they do have the idea to boost up Try to try and get a pick outside. The only problem is they didn't realize the smoke doesn't cover, so they're just going to hang out another opening pick. And then once that happens, they're going to accelerate. But because the Nyx is getting picked off in ramp and they've already cleared lobby, it's just going to leave everyone just kind of huddled up in mini to get spammed down by Crizzen. Now this is going to be a big round to get back into the game from Passion Yue. They've had to deal a lot with Heroic pushing and being very aggressive on the rotations. They've been able to get a lot of space outside, but Heroic have been trading space outside for position inside. So what are they going to do to combat that? Well, JT is just going to walk right in front of Hut as if he doesn't know that this has been happening the entire game. And it's going to leave Nyx and Try in a 2v4 situation. Again, it's one of those situations where they immediately forget that there's been aggression inside toward Hut. So Nyx gets caught off, Try nearly dies, and then he gets finished off by Crizzen in the Hut with the wallbang. Now this round actually is kind of awesome. Passion Yue get to pick ramp, so they decided to take a B. And Exfil is going to accidentally hit his E key twice and get scared that there's a person here, so they absolutely just rip this door to shreds, even though there isn't actually a T there. And then they're going to throw a flash at the door and leave Susp alone on an island. Of course, there's not going to be any trades because we're talking about Passion Yue. So Nyx is actually going to be staring at Senzu for some reason. And while all this is happening, Try is going to forget that there's a player directly beneath him, and they're going to get absolutely fried on the retake. And again, not to be too hyperbolic or harsh on Nyx, but you hear all this noise behind you, you hear the person behind you die, and you know Senzu's watching the stairway. Why are you not just turning around and making sure you're not being scaled? Now, the last round, I think, is going to absolutely explain why Passion Yue did such a poor job on this map and why it shouldn't have even been as close as it is, because they're going to kick off by getting the opener, and Senzu's going to drop down. He's going to get a second. He's going to get traded, revealing that they have one player on A. Now, once these trades go down, they are going to tuck Nyx here to hold off the ramp rotate. Meanwhile, Try is going to scale down CT, but they leave Kavem outside for some reason. I don't know why, because they know it's going to be B. And Kavem is going to just walk out and get picked off. But once he gets picked off, they're going to accelerate toward B, so he was grabbing space for them that they didn't even want or need. But it's going to at least allow the bomb to go down. The only problem with this is that Nilo has a moment of clairvoyance, and he absolutely fucks Nyx on this angle. But it's going to leave JT and Try in a 2v3 retake. Now, just so we're all on the same page here, the bomb is going to go down in the best plant spot possible. Obviously, this can be watched from control room, double door, and you can have someone swinging single. But you just need to have some kind of established crossfire between your two positions. So JT is going to get decon. Then you're going to have Try, who can pop out into double door and take aggro whenever he needs. But he's going to reveal himself early by opening the door. And now all you have to do is play the time game. Now JT isn't going to do that because he just wants to immediately swing. That's going to leave Try in a 1v3 where he gets the first pick. But then, of course, Try doesn't want to play the time there anyways because he just wants this match to be over. So he's just going to walk out and get picked off. And this is easily the worst map of Nuke I've ever seen a team put on. I'm actually not sure what could go worse. I don't know if they could have been any more unlucky, but the tactics weren't doing them any help. If you like CS and you want to see more videos like this, leave a sub, and I'll see you in the next one.